What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how are you on this Monday? I know that it was a bit of a rough Sunday for you.
It was, but you go back to the drawing board and win the final four games. They get the number one seed, my Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have to win all your games and then have other teams win. So it is nice having holding their own destiny and controlling their own destiny, unlike your team who, beat a Colts team. Good job.
Still scratching and clawing. That's all I can say, man.
Oh, God.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Either way, we're in the playoffs.
Either
way, we're in the playoffs and you're not right now, so it's fine.
If the playoffs were tomorrow, we'd get a wild card spot, I'm fairly certain. So
you don't, actually. You're the 10 seed.
Yeah, well,
some things tomorrow. Yeah, some things broke, so good job.
Anyway, welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast, guys. If you are new to our channel, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. Again, hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. I mean, we've got tons of great comment. We're doing our best. We're going to get better at that. I feel like that's kind of the New Year's resolution. I feel like I now just need to get like a pointer and just,
No, you don't.
I lost the plot. Anyway, so we got a fun week ahead, don't you think?
We always have a fun week, man. It's wrestling. It's there's never a dull moment in wrestling. We actually had a interesting, I think is the best word to describe the PLE this weekend. I didn't think it was NXT's best show, but it certainly wasn't a bad show. Some interesting matches, some fun results. We'll get into it here. We can do match by match if you want. We don't have to go super in depth with everything, but I think they have a very good concept in this Iron Survivor match. Like, I really like this match, and I think they did a great job building a future star in this match this year. And I think they got another one on their hands that can be a big time player for their company.
Yeah. Before we actually get into full deadline results, again, just a couple of house cleaning things. New episodes of Stump the Smart are coming this week. Najicism, the Platinum Championship Wrestling World Champion, will be joining us on our show on Thursday. I promise I will be nicer this time. Things got a little frosty, the first couple of times that we met him, but it's okay, water under the bridge, things happen. It is what it is. And before the week is out, we do have a major announcement for all of you guys. We're going to keep our lips sealed, but we're very, very excited, and 2024 is shaping up to be just absolutely nuts. So let's get right into it. We don't necessarily have to go match by match. Let's just kind of look at, obviously Axiom, Nathan Frazier, that's a pre-show match. We knew that they were going to tear it up. Axiom gets the win. Go ahead.
I think Nathan Frazier is starting to get a little bit of an edge. And that is something he desperately needs. And again, I'm just going to float it out there. I think he'd be great with Imperium. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that. And I will say I did not watch this match. I ended up doing the restart of the pay-per-view right after it went off, so I didn't get to watch the
what were you doing this weekend?
But again, I went to SantaCon.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were out partying. Shocker.
I went to SantaCon. Yeah, I went out and enjoyed the holiday season. Excuse me.
While I'm laying in bed with the light off watching NXT, trying not to wake up my wife. Oh, different lives, buddy. Different lives.
I don't think that I would have told that, but anyway. So as far as this edge that you're seeing, do you think he's main roster ready right now, or like what now that he's got this edge, what trajectory do you want to see for him, going into 2024?
I think they're going to try a heel turn and see how it works in NXT. If you go back, he's doing those like almost like a weekend update kind of thing, right? On NXT.
Yeah.
And he's doing kind of, his comedy shtick isn't great. But if he kind of leans into the more dry humor and starts poking fun at people, I think that could work for him. But like in the match, he just seemed like he had a little bit more of an edge. He tweeted out after the match, "I am the best wrestler on the roster, period. I will not take back my words." And that's not the exact tweet, but that's kind of not exactly what it was, but to paraphrase, like he's like, I'm the best that they have going. And we'll get into it little bit later in the card, but like if they heat him up, I think he could be a nice, credible challenger for Ilya, and that would be a hell of a match.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always known that he. I mean, he has it. I mean, you don't train with Seth Rollins, and you don't be, you're not mentored by one of the top 5 wrestlers on the planet without having something being learned by osmosis. Like that's just what's going to happen. It's just the usage, especially because I think we're finally out of the trying to blend NXT and NXT UK rosters together to try to see what you have there, and that does now just feel like they have just a cohesive roster finally. And now that we are starting to see that there are going to be some names that are likely going to be moving on to Monday or Friday nights, over the next couple of months, that he could rise to the top. And there's just something about a properly executed heel turn that can do a lot for somebody's character, and I would love to see that for him. Just because, like I said, he's got it, and I mean he's entirely too talented to, not at the very least be in consideration for the North American Championship. We've seen him in Heritage Cup matches. We know he excels at those, but as great as I think that those matches are personally, it's time to move on to that next part of the upper mid card / main event scene.
Yep, no lies detected.
Love it. Next one surprised the hell out of me. Dragon Lee defeated Dominic Mysterio to win the North American Championship.
Yeah, and this match was surprising that Dragon Lee won, especially with the kind of, it seems like he's on the main roster, and it now seems like he's going to be back in NXT for a while. I don't know what that is, whether they think Ray's going to come back sooner rather than later, or whatever that looks like. This match was okay. I don't think this was better than some of their other matches they've had.
Yeah.
Dominic is he's gotten better. Like he's gotten a lot better in the ring, and that's due to, I don't know if you've seen it, but he's like, I think number 1 or 2 wrestled matches this year in the company. Like he has like had his reps between NXT and the main roster. So like good for him. I don't know what this does next. Like it is telling that Rhea wasn't with him.
Mm-hmm.
This match just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And then the surprise ending was okay. I was looking forward to Dragon Lee more on the main roster and maybe, elevating somebody else on the NXT roster to be North American champion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, especially because it did seem like, everybody's so happy with what Dragon Lee is doing on the main roster. And I certainly don't see that changing anytime soon. I would say he's still part of the Smackdown brand. I don't see this being any different than what they'd been doing with Dom. It's just more of, it made sense for Dom because of the larger Judgment Day story of, they are saying that they run WWE and they are backing it up. And that was shown in the gold that they had around their waists. So yeah, this, again, Rhea not being there, that's going to be the big story, and that's going to be the big issue I would see tonight. You'd have to imagine that Dom's going to be a little chapped about losing his belt and losing it in front of his dad, who was not supposed to be on TV and was supposed to be recuperating from surgery. So, yeah, I mean, I all told, even though he did lose this match, I mean, this was just a monster year for Dominic Mysterio. He's certainly still got some ways to go as far as catching up with his dad, and those are massive shoes to fill.
Oh yeah.
But joining Judgment Day, finding his footing as this character. Yes, he had the match with his dad at WrestleMania, which was awesome. I like the fact that they've been able to tangentially keep each other, keep away from each other by, him being on Raw and then Ray on SmackDown, but then tag team titles means that they can go over there, but they still haven't made that, they haven't had to do a lot to keep that story going. And it seems like, if Ray heals up, we'll probably get that rematch at in Philly, and, who knows, hopefully Dom will win this one.
I don't see that being the direction, but okay. I was thinking more Santos versus Ray.
Okay.
Kind of having Ray pass that torch over to Santos and have Escobar be that next kind of Latino star.
Okay.
But wouldn't be mad at another match. That entrance at WrestleMania with Dominic was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like the match was fine. I'm not Not wild, not blown away, but pretty solid opener. And we'll see what happens with
Yeah.
see what happens with the title.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we had the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Blair Davenport defeated Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Kaylani Jordan, and Fallon Henley. Another one from Mr. Cincinnati. That's all I'm going to say.
You got a prediction right. You want a cookie?
If you got any.
I told you I have General So's bean curd. Go out and try it, guys. I know it sounds weird. Go out and try it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I was the same way.
Promise you will.
I was the same way. Just letting you know.
Barf. Anyway, let's talk about this match, man, because I mean we have talked about a lot about these matches, and you always get skeptical when a new concept is introduced in wrestling. But this has become a nice tradition I like to look forward to at the end of the year, because there are stakes that set up New Year's Evil, and then that's just kind of your road to stand and deliver. So I was thoroughly impressed with all 5 of these women in this match for sure. Fallon Henley, because she was such a surprise to be in this match, felt so at home. I mean, she looked great against everybody. Kaylani Jordan, I love that she got this match, even though she didn't win the breakout tournament. This is still another great opportunity for her that I really enjoyed.
There Legend, it is. Say it. She got a reaction.
I was she did. Dude, because I was not a fan of pre-metaphor Lash Legend. But working with Noam Dar, and it's clear she's getting them reps, and she's doing great. I think that they have something there, and it's only going to get better. Tiffany Stratton is untouchable. I mean, everybody knows that she's a star. Roster. She has it. Like I am glad that she did not win this match this time, because she doesn't need this. She doesn't need this to find herself in the NXT Championship picture again. This is huge for Blair Davenport, because again, she this NXT UK / NXT USA main roster merge, everybody was still trying to find their footing. She's back from an injury, and she looked great. I think the only knock that I have on Blair Davenport is she needs a little bit of work on the mic, but that's not something that you can't fix. So yeah, Blair Davenport, Lyra Valkyria, New Year's Evil, January 2nd.
Yep. Tiffany Stratton, she will be in the Rumble. Just a heads up. I'm going to let you know that now. That's going to be one of the mysteries, right? That should be her main roster debut, because she doesn't need to be in NXT anymore. Like, put her on the main roster. She's good. Lash Legend had a great showing. Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan are, I think, excuse me, some work to be done. Good showing overall. The thing I'm most worried about is the build and the promos between Blair Davenport and Valkyria. Like, I'm a little worried about it. It's neither of them are very good on the mic, and obviously we have seen, like, if the match is a lot better than the build, then that's fine. But that's the one thing that worries me, and I think that's why maybe a Cora Jade was inserted back into the fold, was to maybe...
That was a very nice surprise.
Yeah, and maybe kind of push them on the mic a little bit. And it's good to see Cora Jade back, and I want her to be successful, because I think her heel run hasn't been the best in the world. She was very good as that plucky baby face with the skateboard, right? Everybody loved her. And then she kind of became this mean girl, and it hasn't been the best. And I don't know if it absolutely suits her. I think if you just pair her up with her her behind the scenes boyfriend, I think it'd be fantastic, because they could be a great mean couple. But
for sure. Yeah.
She adds another wrinkle into the women's division. I think the match between Blair and Valkyria will be good. But yeah, the mic work scares me a little bit. This match overall, again, I really like this concept. I thought the penalty box thing would be a little silly, but it really, really works. It works well. I think they did a little bit better in the men's match, but I really like this concept, and I really like it's something new in wrestling, and we don't get that a ton anymore, especially with match concepts. And when we do, it's like, oh, this is actually really good. Like, this is a tradition that they're going to have in NXT, and good for them.
Yeah, for sure. And then I do just want to point out, New Year's Eve was January 2nd. That means that there are 3 episodes of NXT to build towards these championship matches. And obviously I'm not in the production truck. I'm not HB Shizzle, but I would think that, because they are not the strongest on the mic, just do a bunch of pre-tapes. I don't think that because especially because you have to imagine Blair probably won't be on this week. They usually do that week after, when a major PLE win before they actually return to TV. This might be one of those times where they decide that they want to do that. But all around, like I said, I was a fan of this match. There wasn't anything that I objectively disliked about it or anything like that. But I would like to see, what happens with everybody else here. We know Tiffany, we know where she's headed. Lash, it feels like they finally have something here. Same with Kaylani Jordan. And then, I want to see more of what Fallon Henley can do. I mean, like I said, we were both pretty shocked that she and Josh Briggs made it to these matches, and we'll talk about the men's match later on, but I don't necessarily think that she felt out of place there. But I don't know what do you think?
I wouldn't say out of place because I don't know who you would replace her with. Like maybe a Roxanne Perez, but she obviously has her program going on. So no, that's the thing I like about this match too, is it's not for a title. So nobody really feels out of place. Like this is for a shot at the title, and you could have that Cinderella story happen. So I don't mind the kind of random one-off people in the matches. So I'm not out of place. Is that a stocking behind you?
Yeah. So,
is that a Bengal stocking?
No, it's just a red and white Christmas stocking with an E on it. I decorate for Christmas every once
in a while.
You
have one sock on the wall. Don't act like you decorate for Christmas.
Is that not a decoration?
You got your tree up?
No, I don't have a room for a tree.
Yes, you do.
Not really. Not really.
You guys can't see it, but the couch. There's a little.
I know where you're talking about, but like that would not be fun to no. It's okay.
I derailed the podcast. Anyway. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's the podcast dad being the podcast dad. Next match, Carmelo Hayes defeated Lexis King. I don't think that anybody was really surprised about this. Lexis King's PLE debut.
No, yeah.
Melo made him look like. That's what I got. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, it was, and there's an interesting point I was listening to, Post Wrestling Podcast. Guys, go check them out. They do great work. Obviously, subscribe to us as well. But he said, it was John Pollock that said, this is going to be Lexis King's best match, and this would probably be Carmelo Hayes' worst match. And that's not saying it's a bad thing, right? It just kind of is what it is. Like Melo, if this is Melo's worst match, then he's got a bright future. Like this match was kind of there. I did like the angle at the end where Lexis King kind of was that that shit grinning heel that just goes, yeah, you know what? I made the whole thing up, but you got me my payday, so I'm pretty happy. It would have been better if maybe the match was a little bit more competitive, but hey, I got a payday out of it. That's cool. He's doing a very good job of getting like real heel heat because everybody online hates him. And we don't have a ton of those everybody hates you heels. And if he can kind of continue to carve that niche out for himself, because everybody hates his beard. He came in with the cornrows. Your stocking fell. That's hilarious.
I heard it. I was hoping you would just shut the hell up.
Oh my God, that was perfect. Oh man, it is live, so we can't edit it out. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I don't even know what point I was making, but yeah,
this is all the more reason to subscribe to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. You never know what you're gonna get live here. That was
funny.
You can't make that up.
That was good. We'll go to the next match. There's not too much to say about this one.
Actually, real quick, before we move on, even though Lexis has said, I made this up. Thanks for the payday. this ain't over between Trick and Mello either. I mean, there's still just, I mean, now that we've had the red herring, now it's just like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We have an idea of where this story is going to go. I think that's just, that's
keep it going. Cause I have a prediction. So we will keep it going.
Okay. We'll save it for the men's match.
Mm-hmm.
Which was that? Actually, right now. Yeah, Trick Williams defeated Dijak, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, Tyler Bate to win the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Dude, what a finish to that match. The last just 30 to 45 seconds. Good Lord. Yeah. And, I mean, yeah, Trick is... Trick's going to be a star. Dude, he's going to be a star. And I saw this on Twitter today. And I really do want to see this happen. Getting just an entire badass HBCU marching band drumline to do his entrance for Stand and Deliver. How awesome would that be? They've done it for Bianca before. They could do it for Trick, and it would be over like Rover.
That would be really cool. I did see that as well. That would be really, really cool. Yeah, like this match was great. Braun Breaker coming in and getting three points in 30 seconds was amazing. The spots with Dijak was fantastic. The spot where I can't remember who it was, Dijak coming off the top rope and Trick hits him with the clothesline off a springboard. Like it was just it was nuts.
Yeah.
Trick not getting
he popped off of Briggs's back, I think it was, to hit him with it. Yeah.
Almost like a whisper in the wind clothesline in midair. It was never seen that spot, and it was fantastic. You could feel it in the arena, like Trick's not getting any points. Trick's not getting any points. And you could feel the crowd going, what the hell's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And then, like, when you can, it was like a buzzer beater or a walk-off home run or a game-winning field goal. Like, the time ran out. They timed it perfectly, which is so hard to do. Like, imagine if, like,
because we've seen so much of that shit go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine if that didn't go right, and then how do you play that off? But like, they did it perfectly. That gives that much more confidence to Trick that he pulled that off, and to Braun that they did that right. So really good match of the night in my opinion. And man, like Trick is just over. He is so over. It's crazy how well he has gotten over with this crowd.
Yeah, because I mean, and what this reminded me of once Braun hit this match, because I'm pretty sure Mello had a very similar run in last year's match where he came in and got a few falls like right away and then had one more to end. But yeah, this was awesome. Again, hats off to Josh Briggs. This was the biggest match of his entire NXT career so far. And again, he didn't look out of place, so I would like to see what happens with more of this trio, just because they have this, they've got this fun-loving Dukes of Hazzard kind of vibe that I really enjoy. Yeah. And I want to see more of what they do in 2024 for sure.
Yeah. And Tyler Bate. Can't forget Tyler Bate. The guy needs to go on the main roster.
NXT OG GOAT. Yeah.
Needs to go on the main roster.
Yeah.
Dijak too. Dijak is so underrated, and I'm happy that they have given him this spotlight, especially since he was T-Bar. Like, man, that was like,
we don't talk about that.
Like that's like a death nail, like for somebody. And the fact that he's kind of getting out of it, still with a weird gimmick, kind of, but let your work show what you have. And like, dude is so good.
I think this would probably be an appropriate time to talk about this United States title tournament. We know that there was going to be an NXT superstar that's going to be in this match. That was announced to be Mello. What do you think?
Mello versus Waller. That's going to be fun because they have that history. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think Mello will move on to the next round. Please, Triple H, if you do anything for me the rest of the year, please, please, please give me Carmelo Hayes versus Kevin Owens. Please, please, please. I would be over the moon.
I would love to hear, what is it that excites you about this matchup in particular?
Because it is a fresh matchup. I think Kevin Owens would be like, okay, we got a young guy coming up. Let's see what he's got. Kevin Owens, he'll go out there and have a great match with him, put him over. Maybe not put him over to win the match, but put over his move, put over how good he is. And it would be a great test for Mello to go in there with like a legit in-ring veteran that has done this for so many years, and Owens can come back and almost like the X-Pac test, and he can come back through the curtain and go, he's it. And like I just think that would be, we haven't seen him do it before. It'd be a fresh matchup. I think it would be a lot of fun.
You heard it here first. I approve. Okay. All right.
The other thing too is have Melo win the whole damn tournament and bring back the spinner belt. Yes.
Okay.
Because there's a picture. There's a picture online with him with that old spinner belt, and it looks
all right.
right.
I'm listening.
And it looks right.
Clearance right now at WWEshop.com. So this could be the comeback.
Don't you tease me.
I'm just saying.
I can't. I gotta go Christmas shopping.
Me too. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but you have little ooses, and they like just what? I don't know. I don't know what kids.
They're a year and a half. They're not even remember Christmas. Are you kidding me? Welcome to the real world.
I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know. That's not the approach I would take, but
they're not
again,
getting anything.
That's why I don't have kids.
My wife already knows that. They're not getting anything. I already have too much as it is.
You take them to see Santa yet?
Not yet. Maybe this weekend.
You're dreading that, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. One's gonna cry. One's gonna cry. Yeah. One's gonna be upset. It's just whatever.
Yeah. That is what it is. I'm sorry.
Kiana James, Roxanne Perez, like the steel cage match. Get into it real quick. I don't think this needs a ton of time. Like,
yeah,
it was hard to go after the Iron Survivor match because the crowd kind of felt dead, and they didn't really do a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't necessarily anything that just kind of stuck out about this match, and I mean it was fine. It was a fine match because I mean Roxanne Perez can have a great match with anybody, so it was fine. It was what it was. For me, and maybe this like I don't know, and if anybody else wants to weigh in the comments, they said that that's who it was. I was not going to know just by her face or her taking her hood off and showing, just showing her face. I was not going to know that was her. And I think that's what that's where I, kind of lost it. Just like, I mean, like I said, it was a fine match. Shenanigans, which protects Roxanne in the long run, which is fine. But yeah, Roxanne's another just main roster ready to go. I think she'll be in the Rumble too. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, like a couple things with this match. Like it probably would have been better if it would have main evented like a Tuesday night. It kind of felt out of place on the card.
Yeah,
like it felt like they didn't need it. And then two, like the logic was like they were pushing on commentary that you can't escape. That's not allowed. Why the hell is the door open? So that again, me putting logic into wrestling. I'm sorry, but that's just you make your refs look stupid, and you know how I feel about that.
That I do. I would agree with you, and I think, and I'm honestly very surprised because this was what, like, I'm trying to think. Let me just see how many matches we officially have on this card.
7,
4. Yeah, 7. And even that felt like a lot given the fact that, I mean, much like you feel about War Games as far as you're getting a men's and a women's, so, don't necessarily pack the card with everything. This is another one of those examples that at least I thought of anyway, that this is going to be, these are the anchors of the matches. You don't really need a whole lot. I mean, they could have easily even waited and gotten this to New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
And it would have been a fun show opener,
Yeah, it just kind of felt out of place. But if this moves Roxanne up quicker, then that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Main event, Ilya Dragunov defeats Baron Corbin to retain the NXT Championship. Color me unsurprised.
Duh. Duh. Any doubt? I mean,
what would you have done if Baron Corbin won that match?
Dude, I would have angrily tweeted and then watched the next week to see what happens. Let's be honest. But like,
that's what we do.
I don't know. This didn't really feel like a main event, man. And it's nothing. I don't know what it is about Baron Corbin. He's just like he's a good heel, and like he's not a bad wrestler. He's not. But
No.
I have trouble caring about him, and that's terrible to say.
Sure.
And I don't want to say he's boring, but he's not interesting. That's better.
Yeah.
Like he never felt like a threat to win this. And when you go into the main event and you know what's going to happen, and there's not even like the slightest chance that they change it, I'm like, okay. And that's nothing against Ilya, but like Ilya's title reign so far, like I need a legitimate challenger. Maybe that's what Trick will be, but like Baron Corbin, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know what's next for Baron Corbin. Do they keep him in NXT? Do they move him back up? This was just
I mean, just so I can say that I have something positive to say about Baron Corbin. I do appreciate the attempt to strip away all of the other character fluff that we have seen. I mean, because he's gone through a lot of gimmicks over the last 8 years in WWE, and now that it's finally just I'm just me. I ride motorcycles. I got tattoos. I'm just living my life. I'm making money. I'm happy no matter what you guys think. Like whatever.
Hanging out with Taylor Swift, man. You saw that.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see that?
But whatever.
Yeah, so he was in the box with Taylor Swift. Tweeted out a selfie.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, good for Taylor Swift. She got to meet a WWE superstar. Anyway.
Hey, that'll boost numbers, pal. That's the NFL.
Yeah. Do you think that this match would have benefited? And I don't know. Everybody, and everybody has thoughts on whether your world title should close the show. I don't think it needed to in this case. I think you could have had you would have gotten the same match out of Ilya here, but then you get to save that Trick moment to close your show.
Correct. Yeah, I think if it's Deadline, you should have one of the Iron Survivors in the show.
Yeah.
I think that would be
because that is the concept of that's why this show exists. Yeah.
You say that, and then if you kind of rewind and with it being close to Rumble season, can you imagine if they would have done the Cody Rhodes Rumble to main event instead of Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens when Sami Zayn turned? Like, it depends on the
balancing
opponent.
test. Yeah, for sure.
Depends on the opponent. And again, he never felt like a threat. It just,
Yeah.
What I will say is those closing moments, though, with Trick coming out, and then as they're kind of fading to black, you see Carmelo come up behind him. Like, ooh. Yep. They are just, they're playing with my emotions. Here's my idea.
Cooking. Let's hear it.
Here's my idea. Trick's going to beat Ilya at New Year's Evil. Mello is going to become...
That might be one of the spiciest takes.
Mello is going to become insanely jealous, and that is how we get to stand and deliver. And then on the flip side of that, too, is that is how you get Ilya to the main roster to get my freaking WrestleMania match with Gunther.
Because fancy booking by the podcast, Dad.
The other thing, too, is when is the Germany show?
August.
Okay.
I think it's after SummerSlam, I think.
Because you're gonna wanna have maybe a Gunther Ilya match on that one too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But like I think this is a way you could get Ilya to the main roster because again, he's ready. Yeah. I mean, they got plenty of people that are ready to go and make an impact. Yeah. He's one of them, and he needs to be up there now. Like he is. If I had to pick anybody from the NXT roster right now, it would probably be like a three-way tie between Tiffany, Braun, and Ilya. Like those three are they're going to be the future.
I think honorable mention to Roxanne too. I mean, I don't think that you can exclude her. Yeah,
like Mello, obviously Mello. Yeah, will be on this roster for many years and easily could main event a WrestleMania. But like as of right now, those three are the ones that I would pluck very easily.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, hey, that was NXT Deadline, WWE's final PLE of the year.
Wow.
As a whole, I mean, WWE delivered with their PLE cards this year. I mean, I don't think there was anything that we out and out disliked super heavily. We got to go to a couple of cool ones ourselves. But even for some of the kind of second tier
Crown Jewel
shows,
wasn't great.
They've done worse.
Yeah. But like when you set the bar this high, that card was kind of.
Backlash was the bar, dude.
Backlash was good.
I feel really like I mean, yeah, it's just it was a fun year. And then we get to do it all again, man. Can't wait.
We still got an AEW pay-per-view too.
I know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We still got a couple of weeks on that. Continental Classic rages on. Bryan Danielson and Andrade had a great match on Collision. I was very surprised that Andrade won, but hey, that's cool.
They had a great match.
So did Kenny Omega and Ethan Page.
Go back and watch one match. Andrade and Danielson.
Whew. Yeah, they're great. Yeah,
really good.
I'll have I watched all of Collision.
I did too.
Good.
I did too.
Did you watch Level Up?
No. I like what they're doing with and this isn't our AEW show, but like Julia and Abaddon.
That's gonna be so much fun.
I'm interested with what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm interested. But we'll get into it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Monday Night Raw tonight. Just two more quick things I want to talk about. We know CM Punk's going to be in Cleveland, going to make his decision about where he's going to sign.
Your boy. In Ohio.
You were just so determined not to be cool. You know what? I mean, it's the same building it's the same building he walked out of almost 10 years ago. Don't you love how history comes back around full circle, man?
We didn't even talk about his thing with Sean. How'd you like that?
That surprised the hell out of me. I gotta say, I didn't expect him to actually show up at the show, but I certainly didn't expect him to hug my all-time favorite wrestler because they've had a lot to say about each other over the years. But
and he wore a Bret Hart hoodie. I mean, just a troll. He wore a Bret Hart hoodie. Like, hey, fun way to start off a pay-per-view. I'll say that.
For sure. Only other thing I wanted to talk about today, just because it did happen on Friday and it was pretty gruesome looking. Charlotte Flair injured in the match with Asuka. Nothing confirmed about it right now, but it's the words being used right now are fairly serious. It's feeling like there's a real possibility that this will be the first WrestleMania in several years without Charlotte Flair.
Let's wait and see what happens. Obviously, we don't want to speculate. It didn't look great.
No.
But hopefully, no news is good news. Like, I think if they would have found something, it would have probably been released by now. So hopefully it's nothing that holds her out too long. And WrestleMania is in March or April. So there's some time to maybe get her back. But hopefully Charlotte's back. Like, say what you want about Charlotte.
Yeah,
great wrestler.
Yeah. For sure. This episode was a little bit long in the teeth, but we did have a PLE to talk about, so let's just go ahead and take it home.
You don't like listening to us? What does that? What does that expression even mean? Long in the teeth? Who has long teeth?
Vampires. You asked, I answered.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Okay.
One thing I will say before we go.
Yeah.
Eric does a great job of plugging our social media. And I agree. Go follow, go watch. Guys, if you're listening to this, tell your friends. We can talk until the cows come home about going to follow us. But if you guys tell your friends, hey, there's a fun wrestling podcast, then they tell their friends, and then those friends tell their friends. Like, word of mouth is still a great marketing tool. Go tell your friends about us. If you like us, please, just word of mouth will very much help us and continue to help us grow. And we want to grow, continue to grow. And we want you guys on board with us.
Yeah, we currently have 446 followers on X/Twitter. Help us to get to 500 by the end of the year. There's
Let's do it.
only a few weeks left. 54 followers.
Let's do it.
That's not that hard. So yeah, seriously, just it takes 2 seconds. Take 2 seconds. Yeah. Again, we have a massive 2024 planned. And we're gonna be ready to talk about it in a few days here. We've got some amazing interviews lined up. It's
Big guest.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Big guest.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Another world champion on the Wrestling Junkies podcast. How about that?
Yeah. Another world champion. We're talking. We got a former Impact star that's going to be joining us in the very near future as well. So yeah, we are very excited for 2024. So help us get those numbers up. Like, share, subscribe. Merch store is our goal for January 2024 as well. Yeah, we appreciate everything you guys have done to support us over the coming up on. Just would not have believed you.
Nope. It's been fun. We're gonna continue to have some fun. Like I said, if you guys enjoy it, tell your friends. Just let's grow together, guys.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's all we got for this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. For the podcast dad, I am Mr. Cincinnati. I'm just having one of those days, dude. Just don't. God. That look that he every time. All right.
Mr. Podcast Dad.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. All right. For the podcast Dad of Mr. Cincinnati, thank you so much for enjoying this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.